The demonic hordes of Khorne, god of blood, war and all things jam related, are your classic red coloured horn demon guys. And, of course, he's one of the 4 chaos gods. Probably the strongest out of the 4, usually anyway, as his power grows when anyone is having a dust-up, and this is the Warhammer world, so it happens frequently. Now, Khorne is the most boring of the chaos gods. Now, I know a few people have umbrage with that comment, but come at me. Look, he's fine. He's just dull and grumpy. I mean, the other chaos gods at least have fun with it. Nurgle's always happy. Zinch loves his plot schemes and crossword puzzles. Sinesh is the Michelangelo of the Chaos Pantheon, the turtle, not the painter. He's the party god, probably likes pizza too, although don't ask what his favourite toppings are. Khorne is just rah, skulls, blood, more skulls, skulls covered in blood, blood covered in skulls, rah, ugh, boring. Even as his demons are just demons, like no real thought's been put into them. Red with horns. Really imaginative, Khorne. Really breaking the mould there with your demonics. I'll get off my anti-Khorne soapbox now. Now, I've done my best to get some good pictures of units and stat cards at the same time as playing the game and trying to take everything in, so apologies in advance if I've missed anything. I know I've missed Chaos Spawn. There were some Khorne Chaos Spawn there apparently, but I completely missed them. Something interesting to note is the unit cards now have tier rankings for units. This was last seen, I want to say, in Thrones of Britannia, so interesting they brought it back. With so many units in Warhammer, it makes sense, because knowing which units in theory are better than others at a glance can be tricky for new players. So on to the units. First and foremost among Khorne's forces are, of course, the Bloodthirsters, the greater demons of Khorne, his generals on the battlefield, and they are rightly feared for their horrific combat prowess, able to battle entire armies by themselves. I must stress that Khorne's units were nerfed in the battle, due to the battle being aimed towards people who'd never played the game before. However, Bloodthirsters are classed as flying monsters and demons. Flying units now have the designation that they're flying units to make it more easily identifiable as to which units can fly and be affected by abilities that affect flying units and so on. They are also demons, unsurprisingly, and so much like undead units will crumble or rather dissipate rather than flee in battle. They come with physical resistance, 20%, most demons will due to their innate magical nature, and a magic resistance of 25%, because if it's one thing Khorne hates, it's finger-waggling, sparkle-producing wizard bastards. They also come with an ability called Wounded, which all single units now come with. At 50% health, they will lose weapon strength and speed. We were told this is because single target units remain at full combat effectiveness no matter their health, unlike other units, and this is a way to try and rebalance that. Bloodthirsters cause terror, as you would expect, being a mind-bending horror, but otherwise their stats appear to be fairly middling, with reasonable armour, leadership, good speed, thanks to their flying ability. They have magical and flaming attacks, and lean more on the offence than the defence, which is understandable for Khorne. The weapon strength, and this is the best screenshot I could get of it, seems really low, so this might be due to the battle nerfs, as a stat card did not seem to be under any effect at the time as far as I could see. Well, they looked great, they died like a little bitch to my badass axe gun lads. Now, there was a special named Bloodthirster that came in as a boss at the end of the battle. His stats were higher than a normal Bloodthirster, but mostly it was just his health. He was very, very tanky. He was a bullet sponge. Literally a bullet sponge. The other thing was he moved around a lot. He didn't actually do a lot of damage. It was more the fact that he just needed to be pinned down. Bloodletters and Exalted Bloodletters. The Bloodletters are the foot soldiers of Khorne's demonic army, armed with ruddy great hellblades and terrible tempers, but exemplary attitude to getting things done as long as that's murdering anyone they can get their hands on. Coming in 2 distinct bloody flavours, the Bloodletters of Khorne rank in at tier 2 units with middling stats across the board, but are armour piercing and have physical and magical resistances. The Exalted, on the other hand, are their more glowy big brothers and weigh in at tier 3 with better stats than their non-Exalted brethren, because Khorne loves them more. Otherwise, they are fairly similar. They are demons, so they have the demonic trait, and also have a Hellblade, which increases their melee stats after they've killed 80 things, which seems a bit arbitrary. Maybe better if it was a particular damage value of something, now that we can see what that is. That would, because obviously it's going to be easier against like stacks of Skaven to get that bonus, rather than, say, Chaos Warriors. So, I don't know, but of course, this is beta, so... Khorne Bloodcrushers. Khorne Bloodcrushers are Bloodletters on monstrous mechanical demonic steeds called Juggernauts. If you thought Bloodletters needed to be more scary, then Well, look no further. With excellent melee stats, armour, physical resistances, good charge, they will really pack a punch and look good doing it. They come as demons, of course, and they are armed with Hellblades, so they will become more scary as they kill. Khorne's Chaos Warriors. We've seen Chaos Warriors before, and they get a makeover in Warhammer 3. They come in with all the usual variants, but also, as they're Khorne's lads, they come with Frenzy and immunity to Psychology. The fact that we're getting specific Chaos God, Chaos Warriors, I'm quite excited about actually, because I've been looking forward to my Nurgle boys, so Khorne Skull Crushers. Skull Crushers of Khorne are Chaos Warriors on Juggernauts. Much like their Bloodletter brethren, they ride into battle on Juggernauts, but have improved stats overall, mostly on the charge, where they have 77 rather than the Blood Crushers 55, making them Shock Cav, although Shock Cav that you won't really mind leaving to battle it out. Again, they look pretty good, and in battle they kind of jinx around on their Juggernauts, which looks really cool. Skullcannon. Oh, Khorne, you're not even trying anymore. These names. I mean, you know, Blood Crushers, Skull Crushers, Bloodletters, Skullcannon. As the name suggests, it's a cannon which fires, you've guessed it, flaming skulls. A single unit artillery with reasonable melee stats, plus looks good doing it, and excellent missile fire, plus fast. And, oh yes, it can fire on the move, because why not? This is going to be both scary and really annoying to deal with on the battlefield, but an interesting unit nonetheless. Furies, small flappy things, a minor nuisance throughout the battle as they continue to filter in with some Chaos Warhounds who were also in the battle, but were no different from normal Chaos Warhounds. The Furies seem fairly similar to Harpies, good for harassment, but not much else. They died very easily, but then most things did. I imagine they'll be pretty good for taking out enemy artillery, or harassing enemy missile units so your melee units can move in and finish them off. Khorne Bloodreaper. Probably a hero of some kind. I totally missed this guy, apart from mousing over him briefly, so not even sure what he looks like. Tier 3, anti-infantry, a demon with Hellblade, so likely a Bloodletter hero of some sort? Probably? I genuinely don't know, because I completely missed him, as well as the Chaos Spawn, which I saw someone else talking about, but I didn't even notice them. It's just one of those things where these events are so short, you're trying to take everything in at the same time, you're never going to get it all, or at least I won't. So that's what we know about the Khorne's demonic roster so far. I'd love to see more demonic rosters, although with a more interesting Chaos God. Khorne, although, is the most iconic of the Chaos Gods, and has the most iconic demonic units, and the most easily understood by people who don't know what Warhammer is. Red, demonic looking horns, they're obviously the bad guy. So it makes sense for them to be your opponents in a battle where you're going to be showing people who may not know what they're fighting. It just makes sense. But I'd love to see the Nurgle, Zinchas and Eshes rosters and see what they also bring to it. I'd love to see Cathay as well. I want to see them all, to be honest, but that, unfortunately, is going to have to wait. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.